Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of Starcrash. It's a action, adventure, sci-fi film. Came out in 1978. It's rated 13 plus. It's an hour and 32 minutes. Amazon rating is 4 out of 5. IMDb is 4.0 out of 10. And I'm reading the IMDb synopsis. An outlaw smuggler and her alien companion are recruited by the Emperor of the Galaxy to rescue his son and destroy a secret weapon by the evil Count Zarth Arn. So the director is Luigi Cozzi, C-O-Z-Z-I, who also directed Hercules. Producers, well, there's actually only two of them. It says at the beginning of the film, Roger Corman presents, but he wasn't a producer, he was just like the distributor. Was it Roger Corman? Sorry about that, I can't even think of his name. Roger Corman. He does quite a lot of horrors and stuff. So the producer, like I say, number one is Nat Wachsberger, Wachsberger, who did that man in Istanbul, and Patrick Wachsberger, who produced Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The music was by John Barry, who did the music for Mercury Rising. Now the cast, we have Marjo Gortner, I think, Marjoegortner, who was Acton, and he was in Earthquake. That's a good disaster film. Caroline Munro, M-U-N-R-O, who was Stella Star. She was in Slaughter High. She was also in Conan the Barbarian, not Conan the Barbarian, Cronus the Vampire Hunter, which was a film that I've reviewed before. Christopher Plummer, who was the Emperor. He was in The Insider. Judd Hamilton, who was L, he was in the last horror film, and David Hasselhoff, who was Prince Simon from Knight Rider. It was actually filmed in Mount Etna, Catania in Sicily, in Italy, Bari in Apulia in Italy, Tropea in Italy, and Swiss Alps in Switzerland. And it's also known as Female Space Invaders. I don't know why invaders, there's only one of them. And Stella Star, which obviously is Stella. So it starts as usual with the typical rectangular spaceship in space. The ones that we don't actually make, but there's always one of these floating around, and there's red, blue, and white stars. It was an interesting way of getting to the parts of the ship. So instead of just going up in like a lift, you kind of like, it's a rotating thing. So you stand in it and it just rotates, and you see all the different bits of the ship appearing next to you, like a sideways lift. It's like I say, this is literally the very beginning. It's just weird. It's like some kind of psychedelic space. Now the main actress, who, like I say, is Caroline Munro. If you saw her in Kronos, she hardly ever spoke in that one. She wasn't like the main actor in it. In this one, she talks a lot, so it's like a main lead, which is kind of cool. So, like I say, this is hardly anything in it. She's wandering around in a spacesuit. It looks fine, but the helmet looks kind of like a big kind of goldfish bowl. It's weird. I mean, the 78, they knew what headgear looked like because obviously we've been to the moon. So the who was it? What's the name of the dude? The Emperor that they're after. Count Zarth Arn. So his staff or soldiers, right, of his people, they're all wearing latex or plastic. It's like, what the hell? And then there's some robots that speak like rats. They kind of like that. It's like, what the hell? It's my God. And like I said, I could talk about this film for years. I mean, there's weird clothes, weird colours. It's just so bizarre. Anyway, 15 minutes in, yeah, that's right, only 15 minutes in, our leading woman's there. She's dressed as minimal clothing as possible in prison. Now, bear in mind that there's other women in prison, but they're all wearing full clothing, and she's wearing hardly anything. The weird thing was, she wasn't arrested in them clothings. It's like, well, where did she get the clothing from? Just strip off. Plumber, Christopher Plummer appears as the Emperor, and my God, he looks so young. Every film I've seen him in, he's obviously old because it's modern day films, but he's so young in this one. It's like, my goodness me. So they blast off to hyperspace. My eyes nearly gave up. It's like about 1,000 lasers off in your eyes. Oh my God, my eyes. L is the best robot I've ever seen, right? I think he's from Texas, his kind of voice. I don't want to assume, I'm not very good on accents or anything, but it kind of sounds like he's from the area. And then in the trailer you'll see this big like metal statue thing moving very sort of clunkily, with a big huge sword. But it's like, what the hell? But don't worry, as usual, someone tripped. It was obviously her, but you know, they had to trip. They always do. Not usually in an action film, it's usually in a horror, but I'm quite surprised that she actually tripped. She couldn't stand up as usual, you know, I just had to have help. So they're on this planet, and they've been told that when the sun sort of disappears, it goes to like minus 1,000 degrees C, and you'll freeze to death. So L has an intriguing way of how Stella isn't going to freeze to death. It's like, I've never seen that before. I'm not going to say what it is. It's just bizarre. And then the fight scenes are so corny. They're awesome. I mean, if you ever see the original Avengers, I don't mean the films or anything like that, but the original ones with oh, what was her name? Bugger, she's going to bug me now. I'll find the name of it, don't worry about it. But with the fight scenes from them, they were so crappy. It was laughable. Oh, I can't find it. Nuts to it. Let me just type in the. Oh, of course, the usual. Right, there we go. The series. Diana Rigg, when she used to do fight scenes in the Avengers, it's literally a case of like a chop here and a punch there. Nothing actually happens, but they all just die in front of you. And same with Patrick McNee, he was exactly the same. He just hit somebody with a cane and they were dead. So they're on this planet, right? And all these cavemen are there. They're in loincloths, straggly hair, and then some dude appears on this mountaintop, firing lasers in his eyes. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's the Hoff. Obviously, I'm just giving it away. So, looks like we found the AI, you know, like now. So the machines project metal monsters to the brain. So there's no creatures, but some traps. So it's kind of like, could you imagine it now? So, there's some ships blasting off from a mothership to go and attack something. And there's this bright green flash that blinds you. It's like, and then the thing disappears, and then it happens again. It happens about 10 times over 5 minutes. I was nearly blind. Bear in mind I'm watching in the dark as usual. And then there's lasers all in space, right? So I couldn't see a thing. I was nearly having seizures. If you get seizures due to lights, just don't watch this film. Or maybe turn away when anything like this happens. Although I love the torpedoes. I've never seen, because they said, oh, they're fine torpedo. I've never seen torpedoes like this in my life. It was fantastic. Well, even though it was like a drug-induced dream, with the laser shows, weird costumes of latex or plastic, Stella wearing hardly anything, or a plastic raincoat type bodysuit, yes she did, robots that were like early CGI, and a robot called L that was like watching Oscar from Siberia Games. If you don't know who Oscar is or Siberia Games, you have a look, you'll love him. It was a good film. The music worked. My eyeballs were nearly seared to death due to the light show. The characters were good. Now I'm actually giving it 6 because I've never seen anything like it. Now, interestingly enough, let me have a look at the main film here. Maybe not on the image doesn't show him, but on the on a lot of the images as such, everyone thinks, oh, David Hasselhoff is in it because he's here on this picture. La la la. He's hardly in it at all. He's in it for about like I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes overall fully. But it was the guy who was playing Acton, Major Gortner. He was in it all the time. It was fantastic, very good. I liked his explanation for why he couldn't save her. I thought that was quite fun. Again, I'm not telling you that one. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this film review of Starcrash. I also found out why it was called Starcrash. It tells you towards the end why, which didn't make any sense when they explained it. I was like, well, but don't you need a star for that? But yeah, it was a strange film. Like I say, hopefully you enjoyed watching this and listening to me. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of other films there. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Leave a comment in the comment box below. Yeah, okay, thank you and goodbye.